Oh yeah, I can do later. Yeah.
Everyone, before we begin, is there anyone in the audience this morning that has a question or a comment about something that is not on the agenda today? Yes, Charlene.
Charlene Wright, and I just wanted to take the time to thank everybody who supported my CNY child care endeavor. The fence is up. I'm excited. It looks fantastic. Woodford Brothers took care of the 40 feet handicap walkway. It looks beautiful. Kasani did the driveway. It looks great. So I'm just so excited that everybody came together in the town with the contractors, the board members heard my plea, and we're just moving right in the right direction. I also had an opportunity to meet with Matt, not our attorney Matt, but Matthew Easton, who is just like our Matt. I had an opportunity to meet with him Thursday, as you can see in the packet, from Chase Bank in DeWitt. And he made a recommendation for my endeavor to JP Morgan, Manhattan, New York, for a foundation. He said he liked the idea that our child care center is one in Central New York, Western New York, and Buffalo, who cater the niche of children with disability and special needs. He looked and did some research in upstate New York, and me being a home base, he was like, I'm really shocked. He came by, took a look at it. I gave him a written proposal. He said, yes, Chase Bank do support not only minority businesses in Central New York area, but you fit in that mold because you're catering to disabilities. I asked him about the ADA requirement for the bathroom, and I did not know the bathroom was $30,000. I was assuming an ADA requirement bathroom, no biggie, $10,000, $15,000. When the estimate came back $30,000, I took a pause and said, how can we make this happen? So I explained to Matthew Easton that I've been working with my town DeWitt board. I met with Max, I spoke to Dan Romeo, and Bernard Alice gave me a referral to Nadeja. So I said, all of my town DeWitt boards are on board with my vision. But when I reached out to the offices of Senator May and Dan Romeo and Ann Coons from the Onondaga County executive, they didn't understand exactly what I was advocating for. So I just thank you, Matt and Matt, for taking that call, sitting down and explaining to me that everything is not what I think was related to race. Is because you don't have the right advocacy and you're not talking to the right people and explaining your plea. So I thank you for reaching out to Dan Mateo. He said, yes, I heard from Max. I worked with him on the town DeWitt. Thank you. Bernard Alex and Nadeja said, yes, you are good in the public. And so I just want us to keep on, because I'm going to meet with Matt August the 20th, and we need to get some action and firm down what we're going to do, what direction we're going to go in, because we don't want no duplication of funds. Chase dropping, say 30,000, Dan Mateo drop another 30. We need to make sure everything comes together, and that, as Matt said, we're ethical in the town DeWitt and we're doing things legit and legally. So thank you for giving me the paperwork on that and how the town does want to help but you can't rule on emotions. You have to rule on what's practical and what's ethical. So thank you for giving me that long documentation. We took a look at it, it's in line, so thank you very much. And I just want the board to continue to help me. That's my plight, is to get this ADA. Hopefully we can have a ribbon cutting sooner than later, that we get that $30,000 needed for that ADA requirement, so that we can bring all of our children in. So I just ask everybody to continue to support me. If you know of anybody contacts that I'm not aware of, we do it together. And I want it to be our child care center. Don't keep saying Shara's child care center, because it's located in the town of DeWitt, and we all benefit, and we all live in the town of DeWitt. So it's our daycare center. So that's what I want us to get wrapped around our head going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shar. Anyone else? Yes, Mrs. Cooper.
She's smiling. Well, you wanted to hear some good news.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Remember, the good news. This Cooper gonna run for office. But the other good news is I'm free. I have some other situations going on that you can see. I now got a little stomach problem. And I found out from the chemotherapy and all the stuff and the lymphoma, that that is one of the things that comes about. But Ms. Cooper is not gonna be quiet. Ms. Cooper is gonna keep on. Can you pass it to Max Williams? I did my research, and I got 60 years of political experience. So now you're 60, right? Okay. Well, you, okay, you were, I want you to take a look at that, map. And the reason, Joey, there is so much history in this place for me. I came down here just because of my grandkids, and I had to take the school district on and sue them and whatever, however, whatever. But Ms. Cooper's name is in the Department of Education. Since I contacted the president, I now get alerts, I get emails about press releases and things that are going on. I have decided that I contacted the governor, and I'm going to recontact them for the simple reason, with this child care and senior care, and I'm a senior, I'm 80 now, and we also have a senior care that we also do, that it's not fair. I mean, I love the bills. The government gave all that money to the bills and all this other stuff, but we as citizens, our tax dollars, okay? And the fact that I am a grandma magnet. When I see kids, I could be in a restaurant, somebody's kid will come over there, I'll be in the airport, somebody's child will come to me. So my passion now that I'm 80 years old, I'm gonna be a New York State child care administrator. The president is not aware of a lot of things. And I tell people all the time, don't go up and complain about this man. Put your complaints in writing and let's get something going. So Max, what I'm gonna do at another time, in another space, because I asked for space, because we had another appointment and I know somebody else wants to have time. But my union, AFL-CIO, you see what, you see my credentials.
Yep.
So I don't have to fake it and embellish what I do. Now that lawyer card, to take that card, because I want you to have that.
Okay.
As just a legal issue that I'll discuss at another time. But I think that we need to, as a community, not allow our community, and when I say community, the people, seniors and children, our children are our future. And like I said, I love the Bills. I want the Bills and all these other sports and stuff. And Timmy, he's the coach, my grandson, get a lacrosse and come back and give to the community. So I'm always community oriented, and I will continue to do that.
But I wanted you to see that and let you know that Ms. Cooper is not kidding, I'm not playing, I'm organized, and it takes one person to get through out of school, takes one person to get somebody else moving. So I'm your girl.
Okay.
And police chief,
Yes, ma'am.
that's quick. That's it, quick. Somebody's dog was wandering in the neighborhood. Called 911, they said they can't help me. I called so that they couldn't, they didn't come. I called my chief. He said, what's it, Ms. Cooper? I said, I got this dog over here. I said, and it's wandering in the neighborhood. And he said, well, I'll send the officer. We need an officer came. What's her name?
Ormsby.
What's her name?
Ormsby.
Ormsby. Beautiful. She came, she helped me, and then my other neighbor had a complaint about loud music. So the officer took care of returning the dog to the owner and took care of the neighbor's complaint, the music. So the two people that helped me, I asked them to come over and they'll come when they have evening to let you know that it wasn't just Mrs. Cooper. I had help. My next door neighbor and a lady who's in the neighborhood driving by. So community is what we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Joey took care of my lawn.
Is there anyone else this morning? Sue?
Hi there, good morning. I have an ongoing problem in the north part of it with these motorcycles, gangs of motorcycles. Running all over Thompson Road, all over the north roads, racing from anywhere from 7 o'clock at night till midnight. They're peeling out, causing accidents, harassing drivers. And I just want to know what can be done about this. I know they're a nuisance. They're over on Thompson Road. They're playing loud music way over the decibel level, I'm sure, in the town of DeWitt. Something's got to be done. There's already been accidents. Someone's going to end up getting killed. So I need to know what can be done about this.
This is definitely an issue that we've had for a number of years. I know I've discussed with the chief about it. Chief, is there anything that you can kind of give an update on how we have addressed it and how we can address the issue?
Yeah, I guess the thing is we try to stop motorcycles that flee, right? We have a very strict policy and pursuit policy and not for public, whatever, but it's very hard to have them stop. There's an establishment right now on Thompson Road that is allowing vehicles and motorcycles to be in their parking lot, it's a private parking lot after hours, and that place is open, I believe, until 4 a.m. So we're having some issues up there, and we've been trying to enforce some different things, but that establishment feels that they're customers and it's their lot, they're allowed to have them there. So that's an ongoing issue. We have some problems there this weekend that we're trying to deal with. But we need that business to also be good neighbors to the community and maybe not allow people to hang out in their parking lots until 3, 4 in the morning.
Do you have you reached out to the owner of that business?
We have talked to the manager of the business. I was going to try to get with maybe a coach today to see who the owner is and try to maybe go that route because it's not every weekend though. Obviously we do have Erie Boulevard, Thompson Road and 41. We see her all day long here. The bikes go 41. They are loud. For us to actually have them stop for us when we try to pull them over. So that's an issue. So it's that, no, I mean, we're trying, but I think the issue on Thompson Road is a particular business that hopefully will be a good neighbor and maybe.
We'll work with codes and with the police and reach out to that business and see what we can do.
Not only reach out to that business, but the landowner, the person that owns that building.
Mhm.
If that person gives you or the police the permission to go on the property and start checking for license, registration, all that. As far as I know, the police needs permission to do that. They can't go on private property unless it's okay by the landowner. So I think the board needs to giddy up and get something done because it's getting bad. I mean, it's all hours for the night.
So
And
these car meetups are getting these car meetups happen all summer long throughout the county and bikes and stuff. So we've had this before on what used to be Burlington Coat Factory. We worked with the tenants there and the owner, and we got no trespass signs put up after a certain time. We went down and they moved from there. And then they went down to DeWitt Town Center. And we worked with that owner of that property, and we put up no trespass signs after a certain, So we've done this all over throughout the town. They find other parking lots to go to. A lot of times, it's the business owner working with us to actually do that so we can stop the problem. So we've been trying to work on this one up there on Thompson Road for a little bit. We haven't had, the same feedback from that owner of that property or that business that is,
Probably not.
they want the business, the people there.
So is there, they must be speeding too, right? Because if they're doing it. So I know, right. So I mean, we have limited workforce. So how about, because they're going to probably city of Syracuse or different places, so they are crossing boundaries. I don't know whether city of Syracuse collaboration with them and then even sheriff's office that might be kind of having the whole connectivity. So if they're doing it, they're crossing the boundaries. And that is the one way to kind of get their attention, I suppose, if you can. I don't know whether that was done before. That would be my suggestion to add on to that.
Yeah, I mean, so when the Nationals were, Syracuse Nationals came in, we worked with the county, state, and the city, and all agencies work together. The issue is to do it every weekend becomes a burden, all right? It becomes a burden on all staffs and then a financial burden to the budget. But we do put out overtime for aggressive driving all throughout the weekend, from 7 o'clock till 3 in the morning. So we try to staff it, but it's tough. It's not an easy answer. I'm sorry.
Every Friday and Saturday night, I can't even sit outside. All you hear.
It's a little
is
scary when you
Yeah.
start hearing the sound.
zooming around, they're peeling out, I've seen them at the intersection where they're just revving their engines, and their tires are going back and forth right in front of you. They have no regard for the law.
And this is happening in bigger cities in a bigger level. So every place is dealing with that. And then the question comes at us, how can we handle it at the earlier level, earlier stages, so that can be deterred? It's a very complicated thing, as the chief said, but maybe just working with all three, maybe.
Do we have current readers? I don't think the police department has the license readers or anything like that, do we?
On our cars, not on our cars. No.
Do we have portable ones that can be put up to start finding out who these people are and ticketing them and it's getting crazy.
That we do.
Yeah.
For us to ticket anybody for New York State has to have occur in our presence. So even if we had them speeding, they're not allowed to ticket them without actually occurring in our presence. So, it's not gonna.
Problem schools.
So and that's the problem, these kids know that they're basically, the police can't chase them, and they understand that. And-
Yeah, we had like in the past 3 weeks, we had about 3 or 4 bikes take off on us, and
Oh, well,
our officers know that they don't even start.
Right, they can't.
They just let the bike go away.
they can't.
They know that number, and know as much. That's what it is. I mean, there's a liability to the officer and to the town, and so if that happens,
Oh, I
we're gonna be in, so that's pretty much common practice across the states.
Yeah.
Different states, it's a little bit different, but,
Yeah,
So I live in Franklin Park and I hear them coming. I'm assuming they're coming off 481 and then just totally speeding down Kirkville Road. People walk to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're breaking the law, and I can guarantee that they're gonna do it every weekend. But why not just post a car there, as a visual deterrent? And I'm not saying that's gonna correct the problem, it just might push it out of our town a little bit more.
yeah, I mean, that's what we do. We move from one parking lot to the next, and it's gone down the boulevard.
This isn't a parking lot, this is where they're going 100 miles an hour, right past the end of my road. And like I said, when you first heard it, it's like, oh my God, what's happening? Yeah.
I mean, I can't, they go by so fast, it's like a blink, they're going on 298. And then I'll hear them go around, and then they come back. And then they go over to Carrier Circle, they're spinning around the circle, it's crazy,
It's been going on since I was a kid, though, just so,
not this bad,
not with motorcycles, it was cars.
this is crazy. Anyhow, moving on to my next topic. It also involves bikes, but not motorcycles, I'm talking e-bikes and these gas bikes. They are another nuisance to the road. They are not, most of them are not licensed. I see kids driving these and they don't have license. I'm sure they're not insurance. They don't have helmets, nothing. They pull out in front of you. They're weaving in and out of the lanes and everything. What can be done about e-bikes and these, I'm talking the gas pedal bikes.
So this is mostly an education issue that we've taken so far. We've tried to get rules of the road education out, the dangers out to kids and their parents to try and get them to self-police basically at this point. There's very little, again, the chief can speak to it, but there's very little that can be done with underage kids on these e-bikes and scooters and things. So trying to get them to self-police, to realize that it is a danger, and to try and make everyone aware that, you know, when you're weaving in and out of traffic, that, you know, somebody may not see you and you may end up getting hit and seriously injured or killed.
I mean, there are laws, you're supposed to be 16 to be on those. There are laws on the book.
Chief, can you?
You put
Depends on the
out,
classification. So there's 3 different classifications, and that's gonna be the issue, right? So this is a problem throughout every municipality across New York State. You know, there hasn't been a lot of training on it to the officers level, to be 100% honest with you. They're starting to roll out some training, but with everything, it's a good advancement, there's problems. So e-bikes are great, but then, you know, we have problems with them. But if you went and asked probably most officers across the state, the classifications are gonna tell you what you're talking about. They're all e-bikes, but there's 1 through 3. You know,
Right.
and there's different things you can do on them. And when some go 30 miles per hour, some for this age, you have to wear a helmet. Can't be on sidewalks, but I mean, there hasn't been a great rollout.
well, according to the New York State, they posted the laws right on Facebook. That no matter what bike, even one of the things that you stand like this, whatever they're called, you have to be 16. It's.
What's your site, what site are you using there?
This was posted on Facebook. It says New York State e-bike and e-scooter laws. So you have to be 16. And for no matter what you're.
Are you right on their site though, or did somebody share that?
New York State, it says right here, a little New York
Look
State.
into it.
That's what I got.
Because a lot of times those the people, I think we should look into it, because that will be a lot of times, this will be, how do you enforce it? And if that's the case, at least education could be the first start with, and then start working with the schools and all those things, I think will be, unfortunately, these kind of things take a little time. The concern about the helmet is so important because, you know, when these kids fall off the bike, it had injury, this law has been there forever, essentially, to prevent injury in people. So we can look and then try to see if one can do. So thank you. I think that.
Oh, and at night they should be wearing reflective gear.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're supposed
I
to.
almost hit one the other night, pulling out, totally black. He never even stopped, went right in front of me. And if I didn't pause, I would have hit him.
Mhm.
And, you know, yeah, he was on the wrong side of the road.
Chief, in situations like that, because the driver of the vehicle is in a motor powered vehicle against a pedal powered bike or something, does the law automatically find fault with the driver despite the fact that okay.
No, we've had people on mountain bikes riding down East Genesee Street or Erie Boulevard that don't follow the rules of the road. And
Yeah.
they get in an accident with a car and the bicyclist is at fault.
Okay.
Just depends on how the accident plays out, but there's been many times we've actually written it where the driver of the vehicle is not at fault at all. It's actually either, and we've had thing with the pedestrians, you know, that don't follow the crosswalk, you know, or don't, you know, or go against traffic, you know, so it's not always on the driver, no, just depends on how the accident plays out, you know.
That's not a great consolation prize.
No.
Nobody wants to hit anybody on the bike or
No,
anything.
but I've seen them. We have kids that do the power scooters without helmets and they weave like they're on the GW Bridge in New York City.
And I've been going at 25, like Jamesville Road's a perfect example. I've been going 25 on Jamesville Road and I'm getting out driven by somebody on a scooter. And I'm like, I have no idea how you're going 30 on a scooter, but it cannot be safe. So it's definitely something that we started with education this spring. We did reach out to the schools. We did put it in our newsletter. We are trying to get people to self-regulate on that and make people aware of the rules and the dangers. But it is the beginning of what I expect to be a long process working on these.
And just so the preventive part, this is a public health issue quite a bit, right? So this education regarding this used to be a lot from the New York State. It was a very robust initiative throughout the whole entire New York State. They have backed off from that for whatever reason, because the priorities has shifted quite a bit. So that is something will be through the State Department of Health. I'll try to contact them and try to see where their prevention things are. Because that actually comes, because I'm sure this is happening in every county and every town. We are not unique in these things, right? So we certainly will do things and then also, but you have given some at least things to think about. Thank
And
you.
we can talk with county health department too about, I just actually had a conversation on Thursday with their mobility safety group, and that might be something that they're looking to get a New York State grant to work on some projects here.
Yeah.
In actually DeWitt specifically this year, the JD and ESM school districts. So this might be something that we can work with them to try and address specifically from the public health standpoint. So yes.
And also those green bikes that are laying all over the roads.
We're working on them. Yep.
Have we gotten anything? We can talk.
Yeah, not yet. I've reached out to the company. I haven't heard back yet. If we can't get them to take them away, we're looking at legal recourses that, yes, basically that would have our town highway pick them up and then,
You know, pretty much right on the road.
Four of them driving into, I drive in town all today. I see
Yeah.
it too.
In your area, there used to not be them, but they're coming. There, I think I saw half a dozen of them along the Kirkville 298 corridor the other day. I don't know how they got that far.
I don't know either.
They die. and
Yes.
that's where they
Can you
die.
send me the locations? Cause I was talking to the person there and they can control their like geo fence.
Which they've told us,
I would tell him,
Yeah.
I would get reports of them and he'd say, okay, I'm moving the fence. I haven't
No,
had any
Fly
reports.
Road and Kirkville Road.
Oh, yeah, they're
I
all.
saw them, and then
every
heading
day.
towards Franklin Park, which
Yeah.
that's very far beyond the city of.
yeah, I don't know what's going on. It seems to be, yeah.
When they originally changed the fencing to allow parts of DeWitt, like we weren't notified about that. So I don't know
Right.
if something else has changed.
Yeah.
If another municipality picked up a contract with them, because I'm just seeing them very.
All I haven't read anything about anybody other than the city of Syracuse, so.
They don't get them from here.
No.
They get them from there and they
Yeah.
die all over the place.
Yeah.
Where
No.
they die.
It is definitely something that we are working on. And if we have to take further measures to clean them up ourselves, we can. Yeah, Doug.
So Max, that county seminar.
Yeah.
I went to listen.
Yeah.
There's a grant the county has and it's called Safety on Roads. So they took some input from us. They had, the traffic accident plotted and all that type of stuff. And there was discussion about e-bikes and pedestrian traffic interface, and, all those things that we're talking about here. So on a county level, they do have a grant. They're looking at this. That was kind of the impetus.
When the state, whether the grant came from feds or state, the way it will work that they have to work to collaborate with all the towns.
Yes.
And if we are one of the towns, that's a great thing to do. And that's something somebody should represent.
And I think, from what Rock and I saw, it's gonna focus more on the more urbanized areas.
Yeah.
We were at a table with Raul from Salina and ourselves and
He's still there.
Wendy from Van Buren.
Mhm.
Right, so Van Buren didn't have a lot of issues because they're more rural But if you looked at Salina, if you looked at DeWitt, a lot of the same things you're saying, Sue, are things that the group from Salina brought up, that, you know, there are things around the lake, around, you know, the walking trails, and, you know, it's the same here with the walking trails and the interface between pedestrian traffic and bikes and e-bikes and all those things. E-bikes getting dumped in the urbanized towns. And so it's an issue, and it was elevated when we brought it up. It was the second day of meetings that they had. And they said this is consistent with what we heard the day before. So it's an issue when it's
Well, hopefully the town can do something quick about it.
We're on it. Yep.
We didn't acknowledge this, but we've called the Syracuse head of this company. We call them routinely and tell them that their bikes are being just dropped on the road and that they need to come pick them up. They always come back with well, we have a 24-hour response rate, but we do. We are in contact with them constantly, telling them where the bike locations are and that they need to come pick them up. So we'll just expand it to ensure that the northern part, I haven't seen them before, but I have over the last week noticed that they are approaching.
Last thing, these panhandlers on corner Erie Boulevard, Thompson Road. And I know you're gonna say it's not a town DeWitt road, but these people are out there all hours of the day. Not only that is they get high, they do whatever that is where you're bending over and they're completely passed out right next to the road, like within 6 inches. These people are doing whatever that, I don't even know what it's called, but they're passed out, standing up, and someone's gonna get killed. And, you know, the poor driver of the car has to live with that because these people are out there collecting money to go get more trucks. So what can be done about that?
All right, here we go.
Sorry, but, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, here's the deal. So we used to, back in the day when I was an officer, we used to ticket the homeless people that back there at the corner, disorderly conduct, stand at the same place that they're standing. We were told by the courts that that's not a lawful thing to arrest them for because they're not obstructing traffic. They're not in the roadway. So therefore, we cannot make that arrest anymore. When we made the arrest, we give a bunch of homeless people who have a bunch of warrants. They go down to the Justice Center and they get released immediately. But we have a much bigger issue than us, local police department, dealing with these people. I go on and on about why we have an explosion of that area, but I'm not trying to dismiss you. I understand you, and we have tried, but the problem is we're not allowed to. And then when you build, you have sidewalks now on, you know, middle of Erie Boulevard, they stand on. That's public access. We can, you know, so they're allowed to stand on the sidewalk, they're allowed to back. There's a lot of stuff at play here that's beyond policing, beyond town board. Our local code doesn't allow us to arrest anybody for doing that type of it's begging. You know, there's things that were moved in certain parts of the city of Syracuse that moved to the east side. So with that, they come down the boulevard, they go to get their whatever they have to get, and they come down to beg all day long. You know, we get called all the time for certain people at that corner. We know them by name because they're nodding off because they're on their heroin or methadone or whatever they're using. And, you know, to be honest with you, you know them by name, you check on them, they want no help, they refuse ambulance service, they refuse everything, and they go about their business. So it's not a great answer. I understand your frustrations. I think we're all frustrated with it. Trash that is there. We have trash bags out now to help with the trash. It's not an easy answer to how we stop that. I think it takes a community to stop what's going on at that corner. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are drug users that, you know, they stay in a facility just inside the city of Syracuse and come down to the nearest corner. You know, it's spread down to Prison 690, Bridge and Erie. But as a policing side of things, what we do lawfully and legally, unfortunately, not a whole heck of a lot. Sorry for that answer, but it's the truth.
Ultimately, it is a regional issue. It's a social services issue, and I will reach out to the county and the state agencies and see, you know, what we can do. But there really just isn't an easy answer, unfortunately, to this one, and it's not one that the police can just wipe away and fix. So we are all aware of the problem. We are working on it. Unfortunately, it's just going to take more effort, and it's going to take effort from a lot of other agencies as well.
Actually, there's a new program that just gets launched, and it's through Department of Health, the County Department of Health, and it's for times when we deal with people like who are there that maybe don't want our help, but we put their information into it's like a portal QR code, and then it goes to the Department of Health. So there's maybe some services afterward. So maybe today they don't want our help, but then they send out, whether it's Helio Health or from different agencies, so multi-jurisdictional or system that they go check on these people, and maybe one day they want help. And then one day we can get them off the streets, we can get them somewhere so they can get the help that they need. So that it was just launched like 2 months ago. I don't know success rate, probably not really high, but it is something that County Department of Health has put out, working with the DA's office and ambulance services and everything like that. So it's something that's new, but it's just started. So
Yeah, so this is part of the geocoding, what they do to reduce the opioid overdose. So a lot of times, these panhandlers, they are dealing with the substance use and mental health. This way they can actually put people, if there is an immediate response. That was kind of work in progress for 5 years ago. Finally, it started, which is good. There is no easy answer for that. That is true. And they know there are shelters, Rescue Mission and Catholic Charities, and there are so many other things that are out there. They just don't want help. That's the problem. I actually saw one time in the middle of winter, was shivering. So I had to call 911 to get somebody to pick that person up in the middle of a few years ago. It's kind of sad, but that's what it is. I think hopefully some of those services will help them.
Can we put no trespassing signs at these corners, or no loitering, no, all of that? That if they're there, then you have legal ramifications.
there's state and county roads that I'd say good luck. I'm just not, it's state and county road, they're just not gonna do it.
I just agree
Can't
that
get permits.
one of them's gonna get run over because they're bending over and blackout stupors.
Right,
So, I mean, it's sad.
I'm with you on this one, but that's,
Sorry, did you have an idea?
I do have an idea. Maybe we could talk afterwards. Could I just get your name? Because I missed that.
So, plumbing,
Thanks.
they all have my number. Oh. Yeah, probably in the back.
Okay, anything else, Sue? Oh, thank you very much. Well, those are all very good, they are issues that we're working on. Unfortunately, none of them have easy answers, but we will do our best. Is there anyone else that has anything this morning? Okay, then will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, clerk, can you please call the roll?
Supervisor Rakdashel.
Here.
Counselors Alex.
Here.
Chiarenza.
Yes, ma'am.
Gupta. Here. Cleveland. Here. Mannion.
Here.
And Stevenson. Here.
Okay, the first thing we have on the agenda is the town board minutes. Were there any corrections or changes anyone wanted to see?
I think there's a miscalculation with my worker hourly thing. Standard workday report. There you go.
Well, we can work with, yeah, we can talk about that.
I just wanted to.
Yeah,
say that.
I had some problems with mine when I first. It's complicated. We can figure it out.
Any others? If not, I'll take a motion to approve from Carrie, a second from Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Second thing on the agenda was old business, the Association of Towns Legislative Conference. We talked about this at our last meeting, and we were looking to see if one of you two wanted to go.
I can't commit to that date right now, and I
Okay.
don't know when you would need an answer by, so.
Okay,
I'm interested.
you are interested in going?
Because one of us is there because I looked through the agenda. and it's-
Yes, it's really good conference. I mean, I learned tons last time.
Yeah. Okay, so Indu, you would like to go
Yeah.
for this one? Okay.
If I can jump on, would it be too late later or you have to?
Just let us know. What we can do is we can approve the yeah, we can approve up to 2. I think there's enough money in the budget. It's just an overnight in Albany, so I don't think it's.
To register, so usually last time I registered on my own, and that's what I did.
I don't
I
have
just
that
don't
one
want
in
you to
front of
pay
me.
if I
It was
can't
on
go.
the.
I think you pay,
Yeah.
Tricia, and you get reimbursed. You have to file your.
We can also get, Carrie, you can pay for the registration. Yeah, we can, if we know in advance, we can pay for it as well, the registration, but it's in the packet. this
But you
time.
do want to keep watch of the dates because the hotel will fill up.
Yeah.
The reservation fill up
Yeah.
cutoff is on
I
August
would make it
25th.
otherwise
Yeah, and it's
because
not
of-
necessarily that the rates will change after August 25th. It's just,
be any.
there just won't be anything available, right? And then based on where that hotel is, I don't know if there's an easy access hotel within, like, that you can walk to.
Room
Oh.
block.
Ends 26.
Registration.
Yeah, so
See a deadline.
I think you can register pretty late too.
Yeah.
That's
it just seems like the room block ends on August 26th.
what- So,
So,
Zoom we can just do, you
Okay.
can cancel it, Zooms anyway, because that's not it. If you, I do it on my own, then. I just-
well, I mean, we can, if you guys want to, if you want, when will you know?
In the next week to 10 days. So within.
Well, then we can do it on the 24th.
Okay.
And then we'll know exactly what we're doing. Okay.
Her definitely meaning.
Okay, we'll put that on for the 24th again. Courtney, can you just add that for the next meeting? Okay. Okay, next on the agenda, short-term rental law. I did send out a couple of examples, specifically the towns of Camillus and Hamilton. The idea today would be that we would decide a direction to point Matt in modeling a law based on one of these two, and then set a public hearing for the second meeting in September. The reason for that is this does have to go through county planning board because it's a zoning law, and their deadline, they only meet once in September. So we would need to get it for their September 16th meeting. They need to have it by September 4th, which would be enough time for Matt to write this. This is a bit more complicated. So we want to give him the time to actually do it right. So that second meeting in September is on the 28th. So do we have what's the will of the board? Camillus is a pretty 3-page cut and dry. Yeah, short-term rentals under 30 days aren't allowed. Which defines short-term rentals as under 30 days and they're not allowed. Anything over 30 days is just,
Subject to that.
yeah, it's different. But they do use, Camillus does use the state definition of short-term rental law, so there's no conflict there or anything. And it's been on the books since last year in Camillus. So
And they're not looking to change it.
I know they haven't addressed it again this year. I reached out and they,
I will say the Hamilton one, despite what looks to be a relatively restrictive, has caused many problems in Hamilton since it came about.
yes,
Caused more issues was created than when they didn't have anything on the books.
That's what I'm nervous about, Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm
There
nervous
was too
about.
many things I was reading.
Yeah.
Saying.
That's why I'm telling, it's not so easy to do.
No, it's
Just
not.
slap it on a paper and then say go enforce it, because you're gonna end up
Yeah.
with much bigger problems.
when Angela reached out to Hamilton, the clerk from, when the clerk sent it back from Hamilton, she said they were having a lot of issues
Yeah.
with it and actually recommended Casanovia's,
Casanova has a good one,
Yeah.
as does the town of Sullivan.
but Casanovia's was not in the direction we wanted to go. It was far more permissive
Yeah.
than the will of the board I got last time. So that was why I didn't include that one.
I mean,
So
so they all have different, right? So that's a college town. Casanova is more of a lake community. We are more of a normal, what we call
Yeah, we
it.
don't
well,
like-
suburban, that's why Camillus again fits in.
So I like the Camillus one. It's very straightforward.
Mhm.
There's no kind of nuisances there. Hamilton has some good things, but at the same time, I had more question when I was reading them.
Yep.
Yeah,
I just feel like, what is this? Why are they trying to put it?
There's
It's
a
like,
lot to have the
it's
right,
like too many things out there which opens up for the problem.
they have a seasonal avalanche of people coming in for graduation.
Oh, really?
Graduations, yeah.
So I don't think we
So
can.
We're not
we can-
analogous to Hamilton.
Yeah.
But we
No.
are analogous to Camillus in a way that.
So the only few things which I would say that when we are putting, when you're putting, clear definition of permit will be very important. The permit, there was I mean, I learned a lot what not to do. They said sale, during the sale of the property. How would we know if the sale has happened? Because we doesn't get notification if the property is being sold, correct?
You can look at.
We do.
I know, but you're not gonna look for
I
every.
think our
property.
assessor.
Well, but yeah, but they're 6 to 8 weeks, they are 6 to 8 weeks behind
Yeah.
at least.
Right, but then.
They should be notifying.
But
us.
they do get, we do get notified.
Yeah, so the permit, to make life easier, you can put in a permit, any sale, should be,
Requires-
it requires a new permit. That's something that person has to abide by that. So that will be right there.
I do special use permits now, when the next ownership comes, then you gotta come in and renew.
Right. So that should be right there in the permit. The other question which I had, they talked about the accessory dwelling. That was a little confusing to me because. I
Like
think
turning
you
your
should-
garage into.
No, even like, so I don't know whether town of DeWitt allows accessory.
We do
We
not.
don't have a leg-
We
we
do,
don't have legislation on it though, do we? We
No.
don't think we have anything outlining any of it, so somebody technically could
Until they're told. no.
until we have something on the books. I mean, there's shed.
Our code is generally written is if it's not in there, it's not allowed.
Correct, but I mean, you could get, they're
I haven't
selling
seen
it
any of
Costco.
those in our town.
Cause even for a
I
shed,
did one in Colorado like that, separate.
Yeah.
they're
building.
coming though, I mean,
Yeah.
they're.
No, like
going to-
people have like in-laws apartments or like
Mainly
a
it's
family,
houses, isn't it?
children's.
So ADUs or something, so we talked about a little bit before, but we are starting the comprehensive plan process. We're going to do that in 2027. ADUs, accessory dwelling units are absolutely going to have to be a part of that conversation.
Yes,
I don't
a
know.
lot of people have approached me.
Yeah, I don't know how
Tiny.
expansive, it's going to be a long conversation with a lot of public input
Yeah.
on them because there's no easy answer on it.
Right, but we don't have any.
I'd rather not get into that with this law.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, I just wanted to know whether we have that. I didn't know whether.
That's a bigger conversation.
Yep.
I know there's been fears of that. all
So if
throughout
it's not there, don't try to put it there.
correct, yeah. Okay. Other
I'll
comments?
send the board my draft once I have something.
Yeah, I prefer the
Works.
Camillus.
Okay,
I think that when we start going down the Hamilton route, we're going to have more questions and issues than intended.
absolutely, I agree.
I was gonna use Camillus no matter what you guys.
And then the other thing-
No, don't. I think it's better. I think it's a
For the code
better.
enforcement, I think that is something we could say.
Bernard, yes.
Reading the Camillus one, fine. The line that says,
Mhm.
in the definitions of dwelling unit, rooming unit are necessary, that period of 29 days consecutive price or less, short-term rentals. I'm still thinking this through, because somewhere when I think of families that are coming in for graduation in Lemoyne particularly, are we creating a little bit more acrimony than necessary? I know it's a need,
Mhm.
but does the need have to be as rigid, I don't want to say rigid, that's the wrong word. And I'm trying to think of my right words, because I don't want like a whole bunch of back and forth on it, but it's just concerning to me, particularly with families who are coming in and the quick turnover for graduation and or other events. How are we then going to be able to seem to be more community and relational, just in overall? It just seems like it is a one-way, this is the way, and how are we going to do that? And I know I may not be making sense.
You acknowledging of the people that are using Airbnb the right way, Bernard, and potentially just to go the other way on those folks.
Yes.
So
I agree.
I absolutely agree. And that was kind of where the parts of the Hamilton one that could be useful within DeWitt would be that carve out for allowing people to use it the right way. The issue just being that it is a lot of effort that the town needs to put in, and then enforcement on it. I don't know. And then trying to be very careful with the legislation so that we're not opening up more issues.
Are the concerns that have been coming forward more isolated to certain areas of the town? And or
Specific
are they
houses,
Two
specific residents.
irresponsible Airbnb proprietors I can think of that have caused this whole discussion.
We have had complaints though from multiple areas of the town, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, many.
Yeah, but there have been two recently this summer that have been particularly egregious. But I also noticed, and Carrie brought this up when we were talking last time, I saw it again in the paper, more houses being purchased by LLCs. And actually, when I talked to Leah about this one, the one on Danbury that we got all the conversation about and the complaints about last time,
Oh, yeah.
those owners have bought a couple more houses. And so they're looking to expand.
So to that point, Bernard, these folks, Danbury, very tight knit community, space wise as well as resident wise. People had fishing trailers and were towing them all through their yard and the adjacent neighbor's yard and not watching for kids. It would turn into a public safety issue in addition to a noise ordinance. So that one.
I mean, like with the chicken issue, we can just make it restrictive on that end, where you screw up, you're done, or you get two things and you're done.
So the problem
way
is
it
how do you
everyone
enforce? The
a
enforcement
change.
becomes, so if you put some law in there, you have to enforce it, otherwise it's useless.
So that's the issue.
We have
Why
that
wouldn't
much,
we enforce it?
yeah.
Well, it just becomes how much effort and time do we have to be enforcing each of the rentals? If depending on how many you have, I mean, it could be a full-time job to have somebody going around and making sure if you have 100
Right.
short-term rentals in DeWitt, making sure that they're actually following the
Make it too
rules.
strict, you're just enforcing something we've never had to think about. before.
Yeah,
You're
I
creating
know.
A whole new set of rules for
Yeah.
us to enforce that aren't a problem right now. So we gotta be really careful when you're doing new stuff like this.
Well,
If
the
the
way,
board- I didn't recall it. Go ahead, Patricia, I'm gonna double check.
after what you just said, then I would vote to restrict it all.
Well, that's
I
the,
don't know if we're gonna stop restricting the one thing for the fear of what it causes after.
You try and go in the middle, it's gonna be hard to carve out what the middle looks like. You're gonna have people who try and bend it and bend it and bend it.
And that's where
And you
violations.
have people,
should
right,
come
oh,
in.
you're selective enforcing it, that's me. You have all these other people doing it, but you're coming after
Well,
me.
then we get staffing. I'm sorry, we can't keep saying, oh, we can't do that because we don't have the people.
that's just cost.
Becomes a budget.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. It just, there is a balance of,
Spend time on, spend money.
yeah.
So one of those things we talked about, that professionals, when they come, usually most of the time, I think they come for 30 days, more than 30 days. Nobody's gonna come for.
I would agree. Yeah. Anybody renting month to month is,
Visiting nurses. and
Yeah,
people
all of
come
those things.
For a quarter or something.
Yeah. Those are all protected within what we want to do.
Month to month.
In the LLC.
Yeah.
Yes, they do month to month.
People survive on month to month
Yeah.
rentals, so we can't take it.
Well, yeah, so somebody can buy a property and just intend a single family dwelling and intend to use it as a rental property that they're going to rent it, month to month or 1 year, 2 year, 3 year leases. That's something that's always been a part of the fabric of our community, and I wouldn't want to restrict renters from being able to live in the town of DeWitt.
If we were to explore what Bernard's concern is, the people that are using it appropriately, that the owners are, there's some legislation out there that basically says if you have a 3-bedroom house and you're going to Airbnb, you're allowed 6 people, 2 people per bedroom, regardless of what the bedroom situation is. You're allowed 2 vehicles per house, regardless of how big the house is. It's an enforcement issue, but at the same time, it keeps it to a more residential, if you will, outside perspective. But
No way of determining how many people are in that house, like.
100%, that's the problem. Yeah. But that's not the solution. It's just that may help some people, but it's a tricky.
A lot of towns are trying a lot of different things to get the right balance on this issue, and we're finding that's not so easy to do. And you can think you have this great law that works, and then it turns out you're better off not doing it. So.
For sure.
Kind of had a fire during the fire and still well no in a picture. If it were not for Airbnb, where would we have been? I was not staying in a hotel another night. Okay, so
I absolutely understand, yeah.
There are situations where it is a need and it is a necessary.
But they're taking advantage.
Because of rental companies, or we went through agencies and they're like, oh, we don't want to do 3 months. We don't want to do 4 months. What is then the option? So there needs to be, that's what I said, there needs to be a consideration and an option. Because situations do happen.
Do we want to start with the Camillus law and see if there's anything that we can modify with it for some good actors?
I'll try my best to get a draft that works, but I fear that it's going to be difficult to actually do. But I will try to find a balance.
I mean, the bottom line is, Max, the town of DeWitt has more hotel rooms than probably anybody within 100 miles. So this is really an instance where we need to, nobody wants to live next to an Airbnb or a very residential community, whether you're on the south side of town, whether you're in DeWitt, whether you're in East Syracuse, whether you're in Franklin Park. Nobody wants to live next to an Airbnb. So I like your idea. Let's start with the Camillus. If there are some minor modifications that we can accommodate situations like Bernard's, which is very unusual.
You can have a seasonal thing too during the graduations that allows it seasonally for a bit, but that's the thing I can think of. I mean,
Nobody wants to buy a house in the town of DeWitt right now. There's a shortage of houses. These people are coming in, they're taking houses from people that want to buy houses
And live there.
and live there.
And live in them, yeah.
So I'm of the opinion, let's start it strict, and if
And
it
also
becomes an issue, we can modify it.
that might also restrict these LLCs to buy these houses.
They will, so like anyone buying them specifically for an Airbnb will not,
Yeah.
because they won't be able to use it. Now,
Exactly.
that won't restrict an LLC from buying it to rent it out long-term,
Right,
but that's still providing housing at least, so.
that's different. right?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so can we set a public hearing on that one, just so that it's on the books, everybody can know, and that would be 9/28 at 6:05?
Can I ask another question about?
Go right ahead.
So do we tax them?
We
Are
should,
they taxed if we?
they should be. The guy on
Otherwise,
Danbury,
we're losing.
the guy on Danbury should be paying a 3% tax.
Correct. If they are legal, then they would need to be, our occupancy tax would apply, yes.
Our occupancy tax, just off the top of my head, is specifically, I carved out hotels and motels is what I remember. I Other municipalities have.
No, it does
Put
count.
in short-term rental.
Yeah, it includes, yeah.
If it state allows that, that can be done.
Yep.
Just worry about how I actually.
Yes, yeah, let's,
Yeah.
What, Harry? What?
City Atlas collects from
Yeah.
their short-term rent.
I wouldn't consider it otherwise without getting something back. 'Cause
Yep.
They're gonna take something.
That would be
away.
part of it. It would be a registry. You'd have to, it would be a lot on both parties, both the users and the town to try and make it work. But it's difficult, yes. Difficult in practice.
Okay, do I have a motion to schedule a public hearing on the short-term rental law on September 28th at 6:05 from Joe, a second from Carrie? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
When would approximate?
I have to have a draft to Onondaga County Planning by September 4th. I'm gonna try and have a draft in the next couple of weeks. I'll send it around to the board, and then if you have changes or anything before then, definitely let me know, and then
Okay.
I have to have the final law to the board, like now on September 18th. Yep. You can talk Friday if you want to bring it up.
Okay, a couple late additions to the agenda. You all have the fireworks permit for Drumlins. Do I have any questions on that?
That for a wedding day?
That's what it looks like.
They didn't tell us any permits for. It's only 10 minutes.
My guess is that it feels like a
I
wedding.
just never, I haven't seen a fireworks from Drummond in a long time, so.
What's the reason? Is there something else?
A lot of weddings, a lot of weddings now, they do fireworks.
Yeah,
I know they're really giving the pool community their money's worth this year. Maybe we're getting a going away summer. Got a new deck.
there you go. So yeah, everything does appear to be in order on this one and to get approval from the police and fire. Okay, no other questions. So I have a motion to approve from Sarah, second from Patricia. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And then scheduling a public hearing for tree clearing law. Let me pass this out. Pass.
I just needed a highlight of what changed. It was
Yep.
hard for me to recall.
So the issue is, the reason why it wasn't redlined was because it's basically a complete rewrite.
Yes, that's.
Um, Yeah, so this is what we currently have right now
There is a section that. didn't-
relating to tree clearing, and it's part of the excavating and grading law. And this is pulling it out. Matt's suggestion is to pull it out from C to make it a 192.107.1 all on its own, just relating to tree clearing. This adds some definitions and then some very clear what can be done, what can't be done, and then add some penalties, which you can see there aren't specific penalties for this in here. Our tree clearing, as currently stated, was challenged in court. And so we are trying to write new legislation to have it cleared up and not to be ambiguous. But it basically doesn't change any regulations. This is how we have been interpreting it and enforcing it, but it's just more clearly written now. So the idea here would actually be, since this one is already drafted, would be to set a September 14th public hearing on this one, because Matt can get this to the Onondaga County Planning Board for their August meeting, and then we can just get this on the books. The rush on this one is that right now, anywhere that is in the endangered bat area habitat, the trees can't be cut down because it's in nesting season, but they can be cut down starting this fall. So we want to make sure that this is on the books before then. Okay, are there any questions on it?
So I have a
Yeah.
normal question. I think this is fine.
And
Is that from the whole draft to which you sent it?
Yes.
I just need to clarify. I just need to
Yep.
have you explain to me. It says unauthorized clearing performed in anticipation, something like increase in fee. What is that? I could not.
So that is our current penalty structure for starting a project without a permit. It doubles the permit fee. It doubles the permit fee. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is steep.
That's how I thought. but
Yep.
That's
That's how
good.
you stop people from doing it.
That's good.
Yep.
I just was trying to make sure that this is how I understood. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yep. If there are no other questions, I will take a motion to set a public hearing for September 14th at 6:05. From Bernard, a second from Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. We have the check register from August 3rd. Carrie is here. Does anybody have any questions on the check register? If not, I'll take a motion to accept from Carrie, a second from Bernard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Town board updates. Patricia.
So Carrier Park has canceled the farmer's market for the remainder of the season. Of interest, I talked earlier before the meeting started that even though we advertised it, it wasn't reaching enough people. But the post that I made canceling it apparently reached everybody and their mother. And so we're talking about algorithms and how we're sharing our information with the residents. So I'll be maybe working on that a little bit. The day after I announced the cancellation of the farmer's market, Kathy Hochul approved a measure that would allow people to sell cannabis at pop-ups and farmers markets. Welcome, it's just
Special farmers markets, not just like a farmers market. I looked at the article
Okay.
when I saw it, yes.
okay.
It's special CSP markets for cannabis only that they set up for cannabis people to go and sell. It's not our farmers market at Kerry Park.
Because
That was my first thought. I don't
You'll have to
believe
get a
so.
permit from.
No, they need a permit for specific events only that
I
are
would
geared
think.
towards that. It's
I would
not
think.
family farmers market, you know.
But we know how well that enforcement is working.
I saw, I was thinking as you, Patricia, saying.
I mean, that's where the chief comes in picture, right?
No, there's a,
Line them up.
there's a whole task force for enforcement and
Yes.
that one's
Well,
somewhere.
people are asking, I just wanted to
Yeah,
say,
tell them that you're
I
not-
wanted to say yes or no or maybe right then and there, but you know what I mean?
I mean, a good dispensary will never actually try to do those kind of things because the public nuisance will happen and then when they comes, when we were checking those things, so I think that is expectation. Most of the people will do the right.
The CSE Cannabis Showcase event permits, so it's only at the CSE events that this can be done, otherwise, no. And
That doesn't mean no, it just means they would have to maybe jump some hoops. My thought is the area retailers are so kind of close anyways, like just like with a farmer's market, no one was coming to buy vegetables because they could get them other
There's
places.
certain rules affiliated, so sales areas at the CSEs are restricted to adult age 21 or older.
Well, of
All the
course.
consumption, blah, blah, stuff prohibited. And the single event permits can last up to 14 days, so you just have.
We'll take a look at the legislation and see if it's something that, that could come in.
I mean, it's already canceled, so they can't just. set up-
No, but so this wouldn't affect our farmer's market, or if we do another farmer's market in the future. The question would be somebody coming in to propose doing their own thing at a location within DeWitt and requesting a permit for that, so.
They will
Because it
come here.
included.
I think that CSE and DeWitt might be the issue that.
What is CSE?
That's the cannabis showcase,
Oh,
that's what they're saying.
So won't they need permit from town?
Yes.
Yeah, so then
Correct.
that's
That's
where
what
you
we're talking
decide,
about.
exactly, so that's not, it's
We're
not
not
a
there yet.
family friendly thing.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It's not.
It just
But we'll look into it because it's always good to have.
And I think people thought, oh my God, they canceled vegetables for cannabis and that is not what happened.
Yeah, the glories of social
It
media.
wasn't misinformation, it was factual, where other people took it and got. it.
Right, that's what I.
So, yeah.
Any other town board updates?
I think that we should acknowledge Robin's success in the water
Oh,
department.
yes.
In terms of getting the water meters replaced throughout the town. I don't recall the number, but I'm pretty sure we're in our margin of error. Of
76%.
the amount of people that we thought we assumed we wouldn't be able to get in contact with to change. So I think it's just, everybody should know that the water department has been working very hard over the last 6 months and they've reached an internal goal. And we're on our way to transitioning the entire town to new water meters.
Yep. Yes, they've done a wonderful job getting as far as they have. They have met basically our expectation of not quite the easy meters, but the ones that we could get to with some letters. And there's going to be more outreach for those that remain that don't have the meters changed yet. And the water department will be working diligently to finish those off. But yes, Robin and the whole team of the water department have done an amazing job.
And I appreciate, she sends the regular updates, which is fantastic.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, updating the board. Okay. Anything else? Okay, and then I will take a motion to enter executive session to discuss the employment history of a specific person. From Joe, a second from Carrie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
You need me for this discussion.